Hi, my name is Aya, you're watching Aya Reads, and I'm here to do my October TBR. So let's talk about September's TBR first, because as I'm filming it, there's still like 10 days left of September. The first book on my TBR was Alchemized by Senlin Yu. This one has not come out yet, but I will be reading it as soon as it's in my hand, so fear not, I will be reading it. Next was Wildcard by Elsie Silver. I did read it. A Photo Finish by Elsie Silver. I also read it, which I read that one. Well, for Wildcard, I have a vlog. For A Photo Finish, I did an entire vlog of reading her first series, the Gold Rush Ranch series, so I'll leave that linked for you as well. The Front Runner is also in that same vlog, so I also read that one. 8 by Rosie Adams, I have read. Terms and Conditions, I'm currently reading, and I will be finishing it today. Then there was Satan's Affair. I will not be able to get to it. I was debating on switching the book up, but I won't have the time in September to read anything for that particular prompt. So I will be using my one and only coin that I have left, which is right there. I'll be using it. So that means as of right now, I have no coins to use anymore. And then Lost and Lassoed by Lila Sage, I will be reading before the end of the month. So I have finished my TBR, as impossible as it seemed, because if you've watched that video, then you know there were a lot of books on that TBR. So let's get to this month's TBR game. Last month we used the Guilty Pleasures game, and this month we're gonna use the regular game. As I always say with my TBR game, each box has cards from both games, so it doesn't really matter, but I like to switch it up. Let's start the rolls, and this will determine how many cards have to be on my timeline. Okay, 11 or 6. Of course, I'm gonna go for 6. And let's grab the first card that will start off the game. Lilywood and the Prick, You Want My Money from 2021. For You Want My Money, I really could not think of a book for this one. Based on the lyrics didn't give me anything. Nothing really gave me a whole lot, so I just went with the color. I know it's an easy way, but I mean, I really needed it. So I went for Talon by Julie Kagawa. This book is, if you watched my Read and Unhaul video, part 1, then you know that this was in that haul that I did 10 years ago. So I'm doing part 2 in October, hopefully, so I will need to read this one. This is a book about dragons, as you see, because there's a lot of scales on the cover and actually feels like scales, so that's fun. Long ago, dragons were hunted to near extinction by the Order of St. George, a legendary society of dragon slayers. Hiding in human form and growing their numbers in secret, the dragons of Talon have become strong and cunning. They're positioned to take over the world with humans none the wiser. Ember and Dante Hill are the only sister and brother known to dragonkind. And Ember wants to be a normal teen, but of course she has to take her destined place in Talon. And soldier Garrett Xavier Sebastian has a mission to seek and destroy all dragons, and Talon's newest recruits in particular, but he cannot kill unless he's certain he has found his prey. And nothing is certain about Ember Hill. So this sounds like an enemies to lovers, which I tend to enjoy, obviously. This is pretty old. It was published in 2014, so 11 years ago. So I am excited about this one. Hopefully I'll love it. I did read one Julie Kagawa like years and years and years ago, and I did enjoy it. So hopefully I'll love this one too. I do tend to love a dragon romance, like a dragon fantasy. Let's scan the first card. Wait, let me see if this is on. Okay, this one I know. It is Crying at the Discotheque by Alcatraz, I think. I mean, I'm sure about the title, not 100% sure about the artist, and it's for sure like well before 2021. So, yes. Fuck, it's not Alcatraz, it's Alcazar. Anyway, I don't get a coin, but I did have it correct on my timeline. So for Crying at the Discotheque, this was so difficult for me. Like, what could I pick, really? So I just looked at the lyrics. There was one lyric that did stand out, which was, you are a tie like Richard Gere. So I'm gonna take you to the leaps I made. So I figured, okay, Richard Gere, he is known, so he's an actor obviously, and two of his most famous roles revolve around like prostitution, sex working. So the first one is American Gigolo, and then of course there is Pretty Woman. So I figured let's do a sex worker romance, and I went for the one where the man is the sex worker. So I went for Escorted by Claire Kent. So this is a book that has been on my TBR for a while now. In fact, Claire Kent has been on my authors to read for a while now. So this book, you follow a virgin FMC, and I believe she's a popular romance author, but she has never had sex. So now she wants to remedy that. So she figured, let's hire a talented, sexy male escort to take care of her inconvenient virginity. She figured, you know, it would just be that one time, but she enjoys it so much, she becomes one of his regular clients. And then, of course, as can only happen in fiction, these two fall in love. I'm just very excited about this one. So yes, it's not currently on an actual TBR that I like books I was planning on reading. So hopefully I will get around to it. Let's move on to the next card. Okay, I'm not sure. I think the title is I've Got the Key. I think it is in the 90s, so I think it's before 2000. Yes. Let's see. Yes, 1993, which coincidentally is when I was born. Urban Cookie Collective, The Key, The Secret. I've never heard. Like, I don't know this song. I don't know her. Who is she? For The Key, The Secret, once again, these lyrics didn't give me anything. Nothing. It was very frustrating. So once again, I went for the color. And I was debating, you know, 1993, since it's my birth year, maybe I could have picked like a book published, like a romance published in that time, but that wasn't really any that I wanted to read. So the color, I went for yellowish green, and I went for The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst. This has a lot of yellow and green in it, and this cover is mesmerizing. I cannot believe I still don't own it because it's so beautiful. So this one I'm planning on reading for like my cozy witchy vlog that I'm planning on doing in the beginning of October. She is a librarian at the Great Library of Elysium, and her assistant Kaz, a magically sentient spider plant, have spent the last decade sequestered among the Empire's most precious spellbooks, preserving their magic for the city's elite. When a revolution begins and the library goes up in flames, she and Kaz flee with all the spellbooks they can carry and head to the remote island of Kiela. Never thought she'd see again, her childhood home. And there she discovers a nosy and very handsome neighbor who can't take a hint and keeps showing up day after day to make sure she's fed and to help fix up her new home. This, a lot of people do enjoy. It is like a cozy romantasy. I am in the mood for that, so hopefully I'll love this one. Let's move on to the next card. We're halfway there. I genuinely have no idea. I also don't think I can pick a book for this one, but I think it is end of the 90s. But it might also be beginning of the 2000s. I don't know. I think I'm gonna just put it here. But it could also be here, but I genuinely don't know. Yeah! Okay. Techno Head, I Wanna Be a Hippie. Okay, for I Want to Be a Hippie, I thought I knew which book I wanted to read for it, but I'm not sure if this person actually is a hippie, so I went for the year this time, so 1995. I figured let's just pick a book that's published in 1995, and I went for I Who Have Never Known Men by Jacqueline Harpman. This is obviously a very old book, but it has been hyped in recent years. A lot of people that have read it do seem to love it. It's a pretty short book, so hopefully I'll fly through it. So basically this is like a dystopian science fiction, and you follow this girl who lives deep underground with 39 other women, and they only know each other basically. They're watched over by guards, and the women have no memory of how they got there. No notion of time and only a vague recollection of their lives before. And then the 40th prisoner sits alone and outcast in the corner. Soon she will show herself to be the key to the others' escape and survival in the strange world that waits them above ground. This is a translated book. Oh, she is from Belgium. So yeah, I cannot wait to read it. So far, so good. I don't want to jinx it. So let's like quickly move to the next card. I don't know, this voice sounds familiar, but I don't know. Once again, I think it is either end of the 90s or like beginning of the 2000s. Let's go for end of the 90s, I guess. Oh my god! Okay, Boyzone. Okay, so that is why it's familiar. Like, I was debating, is this like multiple singers? But yes. Picture of You. Even though I did think I could pick a book for this one, because Picture of You, I mean, it would seem that straightforward. I figured it was like a Photograph by Ed Sheeran type of song. It wasn't necessarily that. So once again, I couldn't come up with anything. So I once again went for the color, which is yellow, and I went for Glow of the Everflame by Penn Cole. This is the sequel to Spark of the Everflame, which this series is the Kindred's Curse series. And I did read Spark of the Everflame for reading BookTube's most popular romances of 2024. I did enjoy it, but I've heard from a lot of people that the second book is even better than the first book. And the first book, I had a lot of problems with the main character. Yeah, basically in this world, you have two types of species, basically. So you have regular humans who have brown eyes, and then you have the Descended, who are cruel offspring of these gods. And the Descendants are the ones who have all the power. And DM kind of gets entangled in both the Descendants, but also a rebel group trying to take down the Descendants. You follow her as she comes to terms with her own place in society, because there's something strange about DM. She may or may not be a Descendant. And she also, there's a romance brewing between her and a prince, obviously a Descendant, named Luther. So I was intrigued to continue on. So hopefully in October I will be able to. Hopefully last. Okay, this, I don't know. Like I said, I don't want to jinx it. Let's just give you my thoughts at the very end. Okay, I don't, like, this is a very famous song. I don't know who actually sings it or what the actual song is called. I think it is before 1993. I think so. But it could also be, I don't know. I'm not 100% sure about this, but let's just go for this one. I was gonna say it sounds like George Michael, but I wasn't sure, so I didn't want to say it. But oh my god, I got every song correct on the timeline. I am kind of bummed that I didn't earn any other coins, but I mean, it's fine. And then last but most certainly not least, for Club Tropicana. So basically he's talking about like a beachy place. He's saying like cocktail time, a summer's tune, a whole night's holiday. So I figured a romance set in summer would be good. So I'm gonna go for Problematic Summer Romance. This one, I have a very big feeling it will show up in the Goodreads Choice Awards that is happening in November. And since I want to read the top 20 for the romance category and maybe even the top 10 for the romantasy, there's a lot of books to read and not enough time in November to do it. So I want to pre-read some books, and I think this one is a good one to read before. So this is the sequel to Not in Love, which Not in Love I hated, like I loathed. But this one, you follow the sister and the best friend from the MMC in the first book. So you follow Maya Kilgore and Connor Harkness. He's her brother's best friend, but there is also a giant age gap between them. She's 23 and he's 38. And when they are invited to her brother's destination wedding in Italy, they get closer and it's gonna be their romance. I have loved most Ellie Hazelwood books, but I do have to say, like, her most recent releases have not been my favorite, so that's why I have not read this one yet. But we'll see. I'm interested to see how she's gonna tackle the age gap. I mean, I hope it does end up in the Goodreads Choice Awards. Otherwise, I will have read it for no reason. I mean, I do want to read every single Ellie Hazelwood book. 6 cards. on the timeline. So this game went a lot better than last game. If you want to see me fail multiple times, definitely check out my September TBR. Okay, so now for my most anticipated new releases, there are two that I for sure will be reading. The first one is Mate by Ellie Hazelwood. This is the sequel to Bride, which I read when it came out and I really loved it. And this book, you follow a human werewolf with a alpha werewolf together. They both were introduced in the first book. And I don't want to say too much about it because I fear if I talk too much about it, it will spoil the first book. But I am excited about it. I love a werewolf romance. Hopefully this one will be a good one. And the next one is obviously The Defender by Anna Huang. I read The Striker when it came out and I really loved it. So I cannot wait to read this one. And once again, this one has been set up. And I am very excited about it because you follow Vincent, who obviously was the rival in The Striker. He is Scarlett's brother. And it's his romance with Scarlett's friend, Brooklyn. And it's also a roommate to lovers, which I love. I love that that is my favorite trope. And also, it is a coach's daughter romance. So it has a lot of good tropes. I cannot wait to read it. So yeah, I will be reading it as soon as it's in my hands and I cannot wait. Yeah, that is my October TBR. Not a lot of books, but I do have to say as good as my TBR went, I did have a hard time picking these books because the songs just weren't that good for to pair together with a romance or with a book in general. So yes, let me see if I already talked about some vlogs I'll be doing. Yeah, I think I'll just leave it at that. So yeah, I would really love to know what is on your October TBR. Like what are some of the books you're very excited to read in October? If you want to say that you are here but you don't actually want to leave me a comment, a written comment, leave me a music emoji, any type of music emoji. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Definitely let me know by leaving a like if you did. And thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day and I'll talk to you later. Bye.